All right, so exciting announcement here, guys. We have them back in stock. So we sold the hell out of these shirts several years ago. I did a video on it. You guys see it in my documentary films. You see it in my motorcycle review films. When the weather is of a certain temperature, when it's really cold, of course, I'm in my full climb jacket with armor. But these shirts are what I go with most of the year. Everything from, 60 degrees all the way up to above 100, I'm wearing it. And you guys know me. It's just kind of a rule I follow. Not everybody does, and that's fine. I'm not judging you, even some of our guys. They don't always wear protective riding gear. And I'm always wearing Kevlar jeans. I'm always wearing protective shirts, even if it's hot, full face helmet, gloves, just that kind of stuff. Anyways, we got them back in stock. I forget how fast we sold these things the last time, but they
go quick.
It was like a whirlwind. Yeah. We do have a limited stock again. We don't know how many more they're going to produce. Anyways, if you want to get it, now's the time. Do not delay. They're all hanging in racks right now. Lurch got them all organized in the store. They're hanging on racks. We've got a lot of different sizes. It is your speed and strength. True grit moto shirt, gray with armor. And so, like I said, you'll just go look at the YouTube channel. You will see me wearing this thing all the time. It's black and gray checkered. It looks like a flannel. It's one of the things that I always promote in all of my gear review videos. When it comes to gear like this, is I want something that's very functional and safety oriented and protective on the bike, but I don't necessarily want it to look like a typical, protective riding piece of equipment, like, a leather Harley jacket or leather boots or, leather spikes or whatever. This thing you can get off the bike. Nobody really knows that it's an armored shirt. It is constructed from a cotton polyester blend with aramid reinforcements. If you guys don't know what aramid is, that is a protective. It's similar to that of Kevlar, but it's a slide protection at the shoulders and elbows. It does have removable vault chain link CE level 2 shoulder and elbow protectors. It's right in there. And a removable vault CE level 1 back protector. So you can certainly take the back protector out if you don't want that. I leave it all in all the time. And again, 100 plus degrees, I just unzip the front a little bit to get a little air flowing while I'm riding if it's a little warm, but it does really well. And CE level 1 back protector. So multiple snap and zipper pockets. Work hard to keep valuables safe while you're riding. Reflective trim, of course, allows for everyone on the road to see you. I forget it has the reflective trim in it. So that just helps with visibility for you guys. So hidden YKK zipper I love that. So it's not a button-up flannel. You can zip it up and unzip it really quick, but you don't really know it looks like it has buttons. So that's really cool. 2 zippered hand warmer pockets, 2 chest snap pockets, 1 internal stash pocket. I forget about that pocket too. As I'm reading through this here, I don't use all of them. Shoulder expansion gussets. That's really nice. So if you don't know, those gussets, guys, are built in so that when you're riding the bike and you're stretched out on the handlebars, all good riding gear has gussets, and that just allows you so the jacket and the shirt doesn't get tight on you and tight on your shoulders when you reach forward and you're, controlling the motorcycle. Belt loops, if you want a pant attachment, I forget it has those too. Snap down collar, that's really nice. So your collar's not flapping around. That reflective trim, of course, and they do just come in one color. I know we've got all different sizes. Again, Lurch, maybe you can speak this. I don't know how many or if we bought them out or whether we're going to get more of these or what. We're not sure.
Well, yeah, what I've learned about apparel is a lot of times this stuff is only done like once a year. And so in the past, when we've bought allotments, that was all we could get. And so it's currently in stock. I don't know how long it'll be in stock. We've got 50 or more of these things right now. If they sell quick, I'll try to get more. But once they're gone, they're gone. And it's a great shirt. I've got one myself. You've got one. One thing I will add is it is a shirt. It's designed to fit like a shirt. So it's very... doesn't look like your typical riding jacket, right? But if you do want to wear layers under it, you probably want to go up a size than you normally wear. So if you want to put a sweatshirt or something else underneath it, go up a size. But if you want to wear it like a shirt, it's true to fit.
Yep, good. Good point. And right on our website, guys, Lurch will put this in the show notes. Again, it is the Speed and Strength True Grit Moto shirt with gray armor. Just go search True Grit, GRIT, on our website. Go to the show notes, whatever, and we'll have a link to it. But easy to find in our store, Speed and Strength. That alone will get you. And it's a really reasonable, honestly, compared to a lot of shirts. $129 for a completely protective aramid armor. I'm surprised it's coming in at that. And we do have the way you size it over on the store. It is tapered, so the armor is close to the body for maximum safety. Of course, if you plan to layer or prefer, like Lurch says, be aware of that. But you measure your chest, sleeves, and waist. The sizing chart is over in the store on the listing, and at the bottom of that listing, or I guess you could go to the YouTube channel too, but is our embedded video that I did, and that video kind of blew up, and I see on the thumbnail, you need this, and it's true. And I'm still rocking. I'm about due for a new one. I've worn mine so much. I mean, heck, I guess I know a guy that can, get me a new one, dude. You know, no shit. Actually, set one aside for me.
Yeah,
mine is getting. It's still holding up fine. I don't really need a new one, but I will because they're ours, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yours.
why not? Why shouldn't I wear? I mean, I'm promoting these things. Why shouldn't I get a brand new one?
I'll set it one aside for you.
So one of you guys, it'll be a surprise. When you order, you're going to get a 2-year-old used shirt, but you're just teasing. We'll just sneak it in. And if it smells, and it smells of my sweat and BO.
You put a lot of miles on that shirt.
God. Yeah, it's amazing. And a lot of the guys you'll see in the doc films got a hold of these too and wore them. Anyways, we appreciate you shopping in our store. And again, right now, limited quantities. It is a scarcity thing, guys, so we're not joking. It got 35-star reviews. Yeah, 5 full stars, not 4.5, 5 in our store I'm looking at here. So, yeah, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. No mediums?
No, they didn't have any mediums available.
So there you go. There's our sizes: large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. Again, $129 for a shirt that's lasted me years. And I know every time I go out that if I do go down, I'm just again, I'm not judging you, but if you're not riding with protective riding gear, it's so easy with a shirt like this, guys. It'll just give you peace of mind. I've been down multiple times on the streets, let me tell you. And the last time I went down, damn good thing I had armor on my elbows and armor, just Kevlar jeans, because I didn't get scraped up, and my elbows, hitting the pavement. That's not a good thing, guys. So get some armor and get some protective. So there you go. Enough of that. All right, guys, torque wrenches. We love these things. We've used them for a long time now. We're always testing new tools. We want them to work well. We want them to be affordable. So you'll see these in a lot of our videos recently over the last year with our maintenance videos and our how-to DIY videos. Anyways, they're legit. I haven't bought AC Delco stuff before, but this is an AC Delco heavy-duty digital torque wrench combo kit with buzzer and LED flash notification. It comes with a certificate of calibration, which is important for your torque wrenches. We like them. Number one, they're affordable. And number two, they work really well. And we can tell you, we've tested them. We like it because they're digital. And so it comes in a kit of 2. You get a 3/8 inch and a 1/2 inch heavy digital torque wrench. It's a combo kit. You get foot pounds and inch pounds on these bad boys. They come with a digital display, so you can see when you're approaching. Well, number one, you can set them for your torque. Number two, you can see when you're approaching your torque limit on whatever fastener you're tightening. And then they also don't just click when you hit it. They start beeping. They actually intermittently beep, right? Beep, 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 and then beep, and then they do a long when you get to torque. And so it's nice. I've always had just the clickers and stuff before, and even the digital ones were still just clickers. This audible is really nice because you can start slowing down when you get close until you get that nice, long, steady buzz. And anyways, we highly recommend them. You can get them. You can support us by going to lawabidingbiker.com/torque, TORQUE-wrenches. That's /torque-wrenches. Lurch will put it in the show notes, and you click through. No additional cost to you guys. We do get a small commission if you click through and make a purchase. That using that link to Amazon is what that is. It's one of our affiliate links. So yeah, we really appreciate it.
I got mail. Yay!
Looks like
I
got something in the
mail.
inbox there, Lurch. Why don't you
do.
handle this?
Yeah, this email's from Rick Wyatt of Eaton Rapids, Michigan. Here's what he had to say. I was looking for something to help with braking on my 2019 Tri-Glide. At 75, injuries from occupational hazards and more than my fair share of foolishness has led to arthritis, limiting my flexibility. And I do not feel safe with the stock pedal's height or angle of the face. Yeah, no kidding. That's we just talked about that recently on a podcast, that brake lever on the Harley touring bikes after 2014. It's just a horrible spot.
The foot brake, rear brake, yeah.
Yeah, foot brake, thank you. So he says, a little research led me to the Kuryakin extended brake pedal as a solution. Checking with my local HD dealer, I found that most suppliers had none of them on hand and had no idea when they would be available. But in my search, I saw that you listed them as in stock, and then you provided a how-to video on installation. I came to your e-store and read the description and other info and ordered the proper part for my application about 5 p.m. on a Friday. Living in Michigan, whether I didn't see a need for expedited shipping, because it'd be at least a month before my scoot comes out of to play, so I opted for the free shipping option. Friday, I got a notice in my email that the part was already on the way, and today at about 3:30, so this would be I think it was on the Saturday, my neighbor brought the part over, and because the UPS driver screwed up, took it to the wrong house. 46 hours from placing the order to delivery is impressive, and you'll be getting more business from this satisfied customer.
Wow. Thank you so much for that very nice email from Rick Wyatt. Awesome. He just went over to lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Love to read your emails. A lot of them we just get and we respond to. And then, of course, you can leave a voicemail over there too. Or right from, if you listen on the Law Abiding Biker app, you can just call us right there and leave a voicemail too. We'd love to hear your voices, but we certainly appreciate the emails, and we certainly appreciate you shopping in our store and giving us that feedback. And yeah, I won't say much more about it other than we did release a video. You need to see it on the channel. It is one of the very first things I do to any touring bike. It not only is a comfort and ergonomics issue, it is a safety issue. As a motorcycle police instructor, we got to get these things changed out, guys. Let me tell you, once you do it, you will never go back. And I couldn't believe when I released that video how many people commented that they were glad I finally said something about it. It's not that I didn't want to. I've been busy. I finally got the video out because they too were like, it is horrible. It is a horrible ergonomic. It is unsafe. And I changed mine out for years. And thank you for this, bringing to bikers' attention. And we do sell them in our store. We've been moving them. We've been selling
the bejesus out
Thank
of
you.
them.
You know it was coming. And if you didn't know what bejesus is, it's frickin' fast. And we really, guys, we're moving them because guys know. And when you watch that video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'll tell you why it's unsafe and why it's not ergonomic, and how easy it is to change it out with our very detailed, free, in that same video, in that same tutorial video and review video. We show you close-up angles as you've come to expect from Law Abiding Biker Media, doing it like nobody else. And again, completely free. And it's also in our store. If you just go over in our store, Law Abiding Biker store, and search Kuryakin brake pedal, or just search, there's an awesome search functionality in our store. I'm going to type it in right now and just make sure brake. That's BRAKE for all you. It's not break like a lunch break, people. Lurch always types it in BREAK.
Well, no, I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, I just typed in brake pedal, and the first thing that comes up, Kuryakin extended brake pedal for Harley Touring 2014 and up. It's a really reasonable price. And again, if you go to that listing, everything's in one place. If you want to see the video too, of course, it's embedded. Yep, there it is. It's embedded. There's two videos because we did an older one. The one sitting on top is the newest one. It's titled Safety Mod. Every Harley needs this. The first safety mod I do to all Harleys. Anyway, so if you just go over to the store, search brake pedal, you'll get the fitment, you'll get the description, and you'll get both videos, so you can make a decision if that's something you want to do. And I guarantee, just know that if you do it, from every Harley you ride that's not yours, you're going to hate the stock brake pedal from there on out.
Yeah, and just a little bit of fitment issue because some people don't quite understand what lowers means. But if you have like an Ultra that has OEM lower fairings, in front of your feet, those lower fairings, the pedal is different. So there is an option for bikes with lowers and bikes without lowers. It's available in chrome, available in black.
Thank you. Forgot about that.
Yeah, and we just recently had a gentleman that bought one because he had lowers on his bike, but they weren't OEM lowers. They were added on later. So he ordered the pedal for with lowers, and then it ended up being shorter than his stock pedal, or different because right. They're different lengths. So I changed the listing to say OEM.
Perfect.
Lowers. So yeah,
people should know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know they don't, but no, you should put it.
I just try to make them foolproof so that we don't get returns.
So yeah, just know when you're over at the store, you need to pick your variant. Like Lurch says, there's variants. It's one listing, but there's variants. Black chrome with lowers or without lowers. It makes a difference on how that's the fitment for your bike. And again, all the fitment is over on the listing, very detailed. And like we say, as we get questions, we're a lot different than you look at some of the big stores, guys, which is fine. Revzilla, JMP Cycles, things like that, Komodo Holdings. They just sell as much stuff to as many bikers as they can. And they just are listing, based on what's in drag specialties or whatever. And they don't always go back. So we go back to try to help bikers and stuff like that. We'll go completely change our listing title or we'll put extra language in the fitment. Because we understand, if one biker has that question, then many more may have that question. And so we're trying to help you make it as easy as possible to shop in our store and know what you need for fitment wise. And again, by shopping in our store, guys, you're helping a bunch of bikers, just trying to help bikers. We're a bootstrap company. We're not the big guys. And we're, obviously trying to get by and just help people. And we enjoy working with the community and answering questions and things like that. So, yeah, there you go. That's all I got to say about that, Lurch.
Hey, let's do a podcast.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do a podcast at some point. Yeah, no doubt, dude. But hopefully the information is helpful for you guys. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. You want to announce a new free video? We're going to change it up today.
Oh, absolutely. This one is called Finding That Elusive Place We Seek, an epic West Coast motorcycle documentary film. This was on for sale for a while. You put those
for a year about.
Put them up for about a year. Well, it's free now on YouTube. So if you haven't seen it, there's a link in the show notes. You can click on over and watch that bad boy. It's a good time.
Yep. Or you can just head over to the YouTube channel. There's search functionality there and type in epic West Coast motorcycle documentary or just West Coast documentary, or the website, same thing. We have huge search functionality at lawabidingbiker.com. Everywhere is so searchable, guys, for the right words. So just finding that elusive place or West Coast motorcycle documentary. Yep. You can grab it. And again, it is for free. And then at any time you can head over to lawabidingbiker.com/ride-now That's where we house every documentary film I've ever done. And our newest for purchase documentary film is over there. Which is, let's just go to that. So
is that the Road to Brotherhood?
Yeah, Road to Brotherhood. I just want to make sure everything's working here. But there's a YouTube list over there where, like I say, at the bottom, and it tells a little bit about me and the documentary films we make. And yep, it's up. And then we've got the new film project. It tells you whatever new film documentaries I'm working on, which is our Death Valley, California. And that's I don't have an official name for that one yet. Actually, I do, but I'm not going to announce it. I have part one done.
Is it going to be titled Lurch Froze His Nuts Off?
Well, that's part of the story. That's for sure. That's what we should do.
Wasn't planning on riding in the snow.
Yeah. Lurch has mini nuts. But it's going to be a 2-part documentary film, and it will eventually go out here, hopefully this year. Totally planning on it for sale. And then the Road to Brotherhood will eventually be released. But anyways, the trailer's over there for the Road to Brotherhood, and it is a very inexpensive way that you can support us. And we feel like you're getting a ton of value in return. You're getting something that's real true and down to earth bikers, a biker trip. There's stories behind all my documentaries, great views, a lot of humor, a lot of debacles. So it's very, very reasonable. In fact, what do we have it priced at? I'm just saying buy it right now.
I believe it's $8.95 or something like that.
Yeah, $8.95, guys, for a documentary that hopefully will bring a smile to your face. And again, you're supporting me by doing that, and it's so appreciated because I put so much of my heart and soul and effort into these documentary films for you guys. So thanks for all of you. So again, lawabidingbiker.com/ride-now. You can get over there and see all those. And if you want to support me and appreciate those, you can certainly buy that new documentary and enjoy watching that. Oh yeah, once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing, named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products, Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Here we are, guys. Another podcast. Hopefully we gave you some great, helpful information up front like we always do. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM, also known as the
99%.
large and in charge of the motorcycle scene, the industry more than any time in history. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We do have just one question before we get started.
Mount up and let us.
What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Oh, sorry, I'm just used to my part. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast.
And your high-tech redneck.
So, going to dive in, not going to waste too much time here, guys, with the main topic. It's all about my recent Las Vegas trip. I'm right fresh off that trip as of about 3 days ago. A lot of things going on. I was down there to test ride and review the 2024 Harley Road Glide CVO ST. I should say CVO Road Glide ST, however you want to say it. The regular standard Road Glide. That's right, standard. And we're going to talk about that. And the standard street glide models. I did 2 days. I was down there for 4, flew in 1 day. 2 days, first day, review the ST, and the next day, review the roadie and the street, and then flew out the next day. So we're going to talk kind of about the trip. I learned a ton of stuff that we need to talk about. Now, with that said, at the time of the recording of this podcast, by the time it comes out, I don't know. Let me just tell you, this video's out. So within days, I came home and I edited Lurch Knows, because I was in the cave.
Yeah, you buried yourself.
I
didn't hear from you.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody heard from me. It was a time-sensitive video because I feel like that bike, the Road Glide CVO ST, is the one that's, really making the mark, and it's new and it's different. Not that the regular standard Road Glide and Street Glide aren't worthy of talking about, but that was a push. And I was one of the first ones to get it out. And of course I did it in my style, very, produced to a certain level, very informational, I feel like, and it's getting a ton of views. It's out. It is, I think I titled it. You'll see it on the YouTube channel. I rode a Harley CVO Road Glide ST on a racetrack is the title of that video. And the thumbnail is just 2024 Road Glide CVO ST track day stock, I think is what I put on there. So go give that video a view. You definitely listen to this podcast, obviously, because we get in a lot more depth and I can kind of give behind the scenes more in YouTube. It was more, there's a little bit of a story behind it, but it was more, why this bike exists and my time with it on the track. So that video's out at the time of this recording. The other one I'm going to dive into soon is the Road Glide and Street Glide. And I don't know exactly when I'm going to drop that video, but it will be a review of those bikes. And honestly, it's going to be more about, and this video was too more about like, do you go, and we'll give you some insight, and I'll give you some insight in this podcast. I'll give you my true opinions like I did on the video. Unlike a lot of the other reviews, guys, that you'll see, I'm not afraid to give constructive criticism back to Harley, and I'm not afraid to speak the truth about bikes. I'll tell you the pros and I'll tell you the cons and things I think can be done different or things I like. I'll also tell you, you'll see a lot of guys like, this is the ultimate bike, you have to buy it. I disagree with that CVO ST. It is for some guys. It's not for everybody. We're going to break that down. You're going to get an honest opinion and review here. There's a lot of things to consider on these bikes. And so because I've been around all of them and had time, that's what we're going to share with you here today. We're going to get into some specs and things like that. So there's a lot to go over. We probably could have made this a 2-part series. There's so much, but we're going
to do a separate one just on the Skyline OS.
Yes. Yeah. I did release 2 videos on the channel on the new digital dash infotainment system. 2 full videos that are packed with information about this system and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and headset compatibility and subscription fees. 2 full videos. They're blowing up. One has 21,000 now. As of a couple days ago, I released it. And the other one I released has 6,000. It was just released 14 hours ago. So those are blowing up. You need to learn about that system. If you have a bike or you're considering getting one of these bikes about that dash system, we're one of the only channels that will give you direct, real information, because I actually spoke in depth hanging out with Harley engineers in Vegas. And I had a list of questions and I got those answered. And if they didn't know, they called software developers and they did this and that. So I have the inside scoop for you guys. So we would do another episode podcast, but the videos are out. Okay. So where do we even start here? Let's just start. So, I'm going to keep it. I've done some stuff about the trips in the past and kind of how these go. I'm going to stay a little bit away from that. And we're going to stick more with the bikes, guys. I did fly to Vegas. Full disclosure, the trip cost me money like usual. You guys, all Harley does, which I'm so, and I never want to think you guys that I'm not thankful. I am so blessed that the main thing that I get is access. That's what I'm so blessed about. And I'm also thankful that they paid for my plane tickets and they fed me and my hotel room. But that's it. My time, I took 4 days vacation time. That's vacation time that I usually use for my family. So I burned 4 days of my vacation from my paying police motorcycle job, 4 days away from my family. And I still had to pay for stuff. And there was some, we won't get into it, but there was some equipment things that we're going to have to replace. And just when I'm running and gunning, guys, things get damaged, things get lost.
Yep.
So these trips, I'll just say it probably kind of between the hotel and food broke even on expenses, but nonetheless, I appreciate the fact that they do this for me, and I'm so humbled by it. So I don't want to seem unthankful. I just don't want to make it seem like, I'm making money off this and all this kind of stuff. And I'm doing it because it's what I do, and it's for the channel. And of course it helps you guys. And I am blessed to get access to these bikes. I'm so thankful again that Harley pays for the hotel and the plane tickets and gets me down there. So, but that's the extent of it. And as you'll see in my video, like here, I'll always tell you pros and cons regardless of that. So, all right, guys, the Harley, and honestly, I've become friends with these Harley reps. I just want to let you guys know they don't ever tell you what you can and can't say. Not one conversation has ever, but these guys love motorcycles. They're bringing you down there. They know that I'm going to do it constructively and fairly. And not everybody's going to think everything is perfect on these bikes. And these are real people. They don't expect that. That's why they invite a lot of different channels, because we all will give a different perspective, different review, because sometimes reviews are opinion based too. And so I will just tell you, not once have I ever felt uncomfortable or they asked me or sat me down. Never, or I'd be done, guys. And that's just the way this channel will always work, and this podcast. So I assure you that these people love bikes. They're so nice. I become friends with them. They're good people. And what we put on our videos, and they have no control or say, and there's no legal agreements whatsoever signed in regards to that. So, all right, Lurch, where shall we start?
Well, we got the notes up. Let's talk about that Road Glide ST, CVO Road Glide ST, and what you think of it. Just from looking at it, I'm a little confused by that bike.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fair.
But you've had the chance to ride it and can give it a good opinion. So my thoughts are just coming from somebody who's just seen them and hasn't.
What are you confused about?
Rode them yet?
Because I get it. I know why, but I want the audience to know.
Is it a CVO? Is it an ST? I mean, what is it? I mean, it's not a CVO. It's not. It's more of an ST than a CVO. It's a weird.
Stop right there.
It's a weird combination.
And I totally know where you're coming from, so I respect it. But stop right there. Spell out and tell me what CVO stands for.
Custom Vehicle Operations, right?
Right.
So I guess it's
the most custom motorcycle Harley-Davidson has ever put out from custom vehicle operations. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they already got a CVO. There's already a CVO model.
But hang on. But what is CVO?
It's confusing to me.
I get it, I'm playing the other point of that.
I think they should have called it something completely different. That's just my opinion.
So
from so I'm like, what is it? A CVO? Is it a ST? It's some type of version of both. I don't know
it's not though, but
name,
I get
it's
it.
just name only.
Correct.
I'm just talking about name only. It's just kind of a weird thing to name it, in my opinion.
Yes. And I think a lot of people are like that. And that's something that I'm reminding everybody of. So I'm glad Lurch brings up the point is you all have in your mind what a CVO is. Well, you're not thinking of what CVO stands for. And we've all had over the years, the CVO has everything. It's got every bell and whistle, and it's got heated grips, and that's just something that we've developed in our minds over time of but what CVO actually is a custom vehicle coming out of Harley-Davidson. And I will tell you, talking to some guys down there, for sure, this is the most custom vehicle come out of custom vehicle operations to date. But I think it could be argued some others, but this probably is it.
Yeah, I would say based on what the past CVO models are.
It's funny how we do that.
It's always been, like you said, the fancy paint, the fancy, all the bells and whistles come on it, So from a history standpoint, what they've put out as a CVO, this doesn't quite seem to be a CVO.
Totally.
In name only. It's just kind of weird. I've just been trying to wrap my head around that. They put both the CVO on it and the ST on it.
Yep. I think a lot of people had those questions.
It's kind of strange
and it's valid. It's valid. That's what we do as humans. We associate certain things over time in history with certain things, So my only point was I'm bringing it back to this is probably the new custom vehicles or custom vehicles, and things may be changing. But I agree with you in name. It was confusing at first until you really think about it. So there are people on that. Oh, it's a CVO. It doesn't even come with heated grips. And that's where I want to stop people. Yeah. Hang on. It doesn't come with saddlebag speakers. That's because it's a race inspired bike. Right. It's not a typical touring. They're saving weight. It's a race bike, technically speaking. So,
and if you want the bike with all that, there's a model. They got the CVO. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. People will always complain, but hopefully we'll put some perspective in it. So that's good insight, Lurch. Appreciate that. So I got to take this thing out again. This is running and gunning, guys. It's a stressful trip, although it's fun, and I try to find the joy in it too. But my brain is going. What they're asking us to do in one day, we should have 2 days to do. I just like to do more thorough reviews. Excuse me. I like to do more thorough reviews. I like more time with the bike, but this is what Harley's offered me, and I'm appreciative of it, and I'm thankful, and I'll try to work, and I do, within the confines of how they present it to me. It's just I could have used it. It's so hard getting all the footage and things I need, and learning and talking to engineers and talking to reps and trying to get video. Yeah. Okay. So enough about that. Anyway, so I got what I got. I do want to tell you up front that, these bike reviews, and you see it on a lot of channels, they're giving us 1 day with these bikes. And I always preface it, and I said it in my video, to properly review a bike like this, I need a couple weeks with it. I need it out on the road. I need to tour. I need to go ride 400 miles on it. I also need to take it on a track like they allowed us to do. I need to take it up the canyon and carve some corners. I need, so what you're getting from me and any other channel, it can't be a full review. It's a day review. It's initial thoughts. It's spending some time on it. So just preface any review you see where these channels get 1 day with a bike, just, it is what it is. So just take that into account. I'm always upfront and honest about that, and I want you guys to be aware of that. So I did get to take it out. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Kyle Wyman and James Spoley, who are both factory riders for the 24 season King of the Baggers. Let's first go back and why do we have this bike? So, and then jump in wherever you want. So, I want to do a little history. So to put things in perspective. So you already mentioned it's confusing. CVO ST. So where does this bike come from? Well, I predicted it for years, guys. Public predictions, and especially last year, I went to spring training with King of the Baggers down in Arizona. Harley had me down there, and I got to see behind the scenes in the tent. They were practicing. They were working on bikes. It's King of the Baggers. And that season's coming up real quick, guys. And if you haven't followed that, you need to follow it. Like, it's so addictive. We followed it close. Moto America, Mission King of the Baggers. You can get it on Moto America. You can do a subscription and you can get all the races. Me and Lurch were watching them. I edge of my seat. Like, I couldn't wait. I had it on my calendar for when the races were, and it is edge of your seat. If you like motorcycles, if you like engines, if you like these, racing, it really brought a lot to the sport of motorcycle racing. I mean, you guys got to understand, these baggers are now doing damn near lap times that super bikes are. Yeah. That's fucking insane. I mean, it's insanity how fast this sport and how quick they've modified these bikes and engineered to make them run like they do on a track. So my prediction was, yeah, they're going to work on a new bike. It's going to be race inspired. It's going to be something that you can ride on the street, yet amateur can take it out for, or the hobbyist can take it out on a track to within certain parameters and all that. And so here we go. My prediction came true. We have a CVO ST. Did it meet all the marks? My prediction, not all of them, but it was definitely exactly what I had predicted for the most part, and they're moving that way. These performance baggers, because of King of the Baggers, have become so popular that everybody wants this now. And I will tell you right now that the CVO, I was down there with Matt Laidlaw. We become good friends, super good guy. We offloaded a couple bikes from him this year when we went down to Death Valley, a couple new bikes. You guys, that video's got like 110,000 views on YouTube. Check it out. We toured his dealership and bought a couple bikes from him. But
when you were down there doing this review, I sent you, I can't remember if I called you or texted you, but I asked you if Laidlaw had sold you a new one yet.
Yeah, I know. He's trying. But yeah, he was telling me that don't quote me exactly, but he was up there test riding and reviewing these bikes too. We were on the bus riding back to the hotel and we had a long conversation. He's like, yeah, I don't know how many of these guys can get. And the ones I have are already sold. And he goes, people are just throwing money at, basically to get these bikes while you can. That's how popular this bike is. Guys haven't even test rode these things and they want one. So when you look at it, and especially in person, you'll want one too. I want one. I told Lurch I'm hopefully a little more fiscally responsible than just to buy. I wished I could buy every bike I see, but it's beautiful. And in person, you want one and you sit on it and ride it and you want one. And then you need to make some decisions, but we're going to talk about that. So that's where this all comes from. And I did mention, Kyle Wyman, James Esproli down there, factory team riders this year. And they gave us in between, some fast track tips. I'm lucky. I've gotten to ride, as a police motor instructor on fast tracks before. None this nice. Las Vegas Motor Speedway outside track was amazing. It's all flat. You can see the whole thing. There's no hills, no dips. It's a cool track. So there was all different skill levels down there. So we didn't get to ride like I wanted to ride. But I still fell back on purpose a lot. And then
I noticed that.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And so I could run it a little bit different. Don't tell anybody that, that's my little trick.
Kind of hang back and
then
rip it and catch up.
Yeah. Take some real corners and drag and stuff. Anyways, there was all different skill levels. That's not really the point. We weren't supposed, necessarily be racing at top speed, but enough to let us experience the bike and know what it's about and get it leaned over real good and all the other things, the engine, power delivery, engine braking, all that. So a couple things on this bike. Let's just talk right now ride modes as we go. So this bike comes with your regular rain, road, and sport mode. And it has four customizable modes. Sorry. I believe. Did I put that in there?
I thought it was just one, but I'll look it up as you're talking.
The regular models have one. This has four. So 3 standard and 4 customizable ride modes.
Wow. So,
and then it also has track and track plus mode. Now, track plus mode was developed in talks with Kyle Wyman and kind of how he likes this street bike. We'll just call it a street bike, how it will operate. And so it's track plus mode. And of course, all the different modes you're basically changing power delivery, engine braking, cornering, anti-lock braking system, cornering, traction control systems. All right. So basically it takes the rider aids, like all your safety stuff, cornering enhanced, braking and ABS and traction control and all those. And it's basically tweaking them and those different modes. How do I want to say this? It gives the bike, and also the Track Mode Plus gives the bike a top speed of 120 miles an hour with the best engine and throttle responsiveness. So it's basically taken the rider aids, the electronic interventions down to near zero on the Track Mode Plus. So each mode in Track Mode is a little bit less than that. Track Mode Plus is the shizzle, so to speak. And it was. I really liked how that rode. So essentially what I want to say real quick about these modes, Lurch, is, and I saw another reviewer, a couple of them, and I talked to engineers about it. Unfortunately, there's some of those reviews is wrong information, because a couple of the guys on the track said, yeah, in Track Mode and Track Mode Plus, it takes away every safety feature and it's just you and the bike. It's not true. Unfortunately, that was misinformation. So the truth is, because I actually researched it and wanted to know everything I can about these bikes for you guys, none of the modes completely get rid of, not even Track Mode Plus. With Track Mode, you still have every safety feature. It's just greatly reduced. It allows, I did torque slip, drag slip torque control. It allows me to slide the back end a little bit more before it switches good. Instead of being so abrupt, it lets you actually skid and slide a little bit. It's just reducing these things. Track Mode Plus, what it does, it is the most reduced intervention. It gets rid of linked braking. So with Track Mode, you still have linked braking.
Still have ABS, just gets rid of linked braking. Yeah.
Still have trash control, cornering, enhanced track, drag, slip, nothing. All it does, you still have ABS brakes. You still have everything. The only thing Track Mode Plus does is reduces those even more, and it completely 100% gets rid of linked braking. Linked braking, guys, is basically, it was made for obviously the public, and if you are going around a corner or straight and you freak out and you grab all rear brake and you forget to threshold and front brake, it's going to automatically apply front brake for you. Same with front. If you grab all front, it's going to automatically apply rear for you. It's going to help your blackout moment and help hopefully save you. Still, proper rider doing that is way better, but it's there. And also, on a track like this, there's different ways on the street. It depends how hard you're riding, whether you trail brake or not. Some guys say they do it every corner. If you're going slow, it's not really necessary. Trail braking has specific reasons. Generally speaking, if you don't know what trail braking is, I was doing it on the track there at the higher speeds. When we weren't, I didn't really care. But essentially what you're doing is you're applying a light amount of front brake prior to the corner, or as you're setting into the corner. You want to set it just a little bit before. And what you're doing is you're loading the front end of the bike. And because you have that brake on throughout that corner, you're compressing the front end. You can imagine you don't want to do too much, obviously, and you don't want to be on it and then off it, because as soon as you let up on it, you're giving it up. You're trail braking and you're giving up that compression and all that. So sorry, I've got a deep thought. So,
no problem.
So you're giving up that. So you want to be on it, and then you're holding it throughout the corner. And what you're doing is you're keeping that load on the front end. That's putting pressure on the front tire. It's expanding the front tire, which gives you more surface on the pavement. And then it also gives you more lean angle. Obviously, the more, as you're braking, there's a fine line between how much you're leaning and braking. There's a whole, anyways, that's what linked braking is going to do for you on the road. If you're going around a corner fast, they were interestingly talking about, Harley gives some safety classes and where most riders die and are seriously injured. And the biggest one is they're standing it up. Intersections is big, but they're standing it up and going across the center lane. That's just standard. And that's what linked braking is supposed to do on these bikes, is it's forcing you to trail brake. It's like, hey, you're leaning really fucking far, and you're freaking out and you're grabbing rear, which is unfortunately what a lot of inexperienced riders are so afraid to use the front brake. You should be using the front brake more than the rear, in my opinion. And they'll grab all rear. Well, then it's automatically going to link the front, and it's going to start trail braking for you, whether you know it or not. So anyways, hopefully that gives you guys an idea of, that's a very rudimentary explanation of trail braking.
I think you did a good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
enough for this podcast.
And if you're have a high skill level and a racer, you may want to be able to trail brake a little harder and not have that linked rear brake. And so I imagine that's why they take it away for that.
They do.
Track
Well, you should
plus.
be properly trail braking yourself. Yeah, you're not really using rear on that track. You know, you're trail braking around corner. You're not really using rear. So they give it back to you, which is nice. So there you go. It was amazing. Track Mode Plus. It definitely felt. I liked how the engine was, the rev and all that. Well done on that. There are fun modes. How much of that will you do on the street? Probably not a lot. Because you have cars to contend with. Be careful. I get a little bit worried about inexperienced guys putting this in track mode and not actually knowing how to properly trail brake and things like that. So it's there, but like most guys, they just ride straight anyways. And their fast thing is, from a dig and then going straight down the freeway or something, but whatever. Be careful if you're actually going to, ride corners and actually ride it like it can be ridden. So until you're very experienced, I would go out and practice on tracks or training or a fast track. You need to properly learn how to ride before you go into modes like this, guys. Anyways, I had a blast on it. It was fun. So much to talk about, Lurch. We might break this in two. I don't know. We'll see. Decide what we want to do. There is just so much to talk about with this bike and then comparing it to the other ones. So we'll see. So this bike, guys, interestingly, do you have anything? Well, I'm doing a lot of talking.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're going to move into, I think, the section now where I'll have some questions.
Okay. So let's just move into weight. So this bike, interestingly, coming in, I did the research. I talked to an engineer on the bus, so I told him, I actually asked the question to the engineer. I said, listen, I did my research. This bike is the CVO ST. It's coming in at 830 pounds wet. And I looked at the regular Road Glide and it's coming at 838 pounds wet. He goes, really? He goes, it's 6 pounds lighter. The CVO ST, that not per your spec sheet. And I looked again. I already looked.
Okay.
I looked before I did the notes.
So showing them both the same weight?
838. He goes, but that's dry. I go, okay. He goes, that's weird that they would be the same in wet weight. Nonetheless, it's not that much. It's a few pounds. And I did look at the dry weight and it's 2 pounds lighter on their spec sheets. Yeah. And in my video, I said per their specification sheet, so nobody would dog me. I'm like, I've looked like 10 times, people. They work on these bikes for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. If you guys didn't know, we've talked about that in the past. It's interesting. Sometimes they accidentally say things, and we are under, I'm not going to, if they accidentally slip and talk about a project they're working on, I would never disclose that because that's not fair. They're working on bikes that they forget what's been told and what hasn't. And so they work on these bikes for like 4 years.
They were probably there at the research and development center when you and I were there because they said they had stuff that was covered. They moved stuff to areas that we couldn't go into.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm sure that those bikes.
We were just there last year. That was 4 years in the making. This bike.
I'm sure that bike was there. Just we didn't have access to it.
They've been working on this since King of the Baggers first started getting popular, and it's finally out. That's just how long it takes. And they're already working on bikes for 2028 right now. So that's just the way it goes in these industries. So interesting. Whatever you think there, guys. It was surprising to me. I thought the ST on paper was going to be a lot lighter because it's race inspired. Yeah. But remember, they're putting parts. They got the cam. They've got a heavier, higher flow intake. So there's give and take with weight of parts, guys. But remember, these are still bikes. They've got a full infotainment, digital dash. So you can only shave so much weight. Also, I thought interesting, 3 things on this bike that are forged carbon fiber. While we're talking about it, what you think, it certainly shaves some weight.
Sure, absolutely.
But you've got your tips on your exhaust. It's titanium exhaust pipes, mufflers. You've got forged carbon fiber end caps. You've got the seat cowling, the dash panel, and the front fender are all forged carbon fiber. And a lot of people think they're ugly looking. Well, that's in the eye of the beholder. They did that because it's race inspired, and they purposely didn't paint the forged carbon fiber. They could have. They didn't. They wanted you to see it. It sets it apart from everything else.
How does it look in person? In the pictures on the white version of this bike in particular, it really stands out. Not so much on the black bike, but
right.
What did you think of it seeing it in person?
Better.
Okay. Yeah.
When I first saw it
Pictures
too,
don't always
no.
do
And I get why
justice.
they did it, and it wouldn't stop me from buying the bike. But yes, in person, it looks awesome. And I've kind of like it now that I've seen it in person. And I get why they did it, and I'm glad they didn't paint it, because then it's just going to look like another CVO model. They really wanted to separate this as the race-inspired bike, and that was one way to do it. So I will say that this ST, as is the regular Road Glide, they're 25 pounds lighter than the regular CVO Road Glide. Those add a lot of extra weight. You've got bag speakers. You've got just a bunch of extra components and bells and whistles. I'm sure. And also on this bike, guys, some other weight savings is probably the smaller. So they use the switchback collection. So if you look at this, it's got kind of flat bars for the engine guards coming out. They look really cool. Same with the saddlebags. It's not your traditional protective bars. And then you've got mini floorboards and you've got mini grips. It's a switchback collection that they're putting parts from this. With that said, lean angle. Now, this is one of the things I was a little bit disappointed about. And again, you get straight up, honest, unbiased review here, guys. I'm not afraid to say things like this. It's not a deal breaker. It won't affect 99% of people that ride this bike. 98%, I don't know. But you do get, with the floorboards, they made them. They look cool. They're mini. They drag a little less quick. They did, if you noticed underneath the underneath side, I showed a picture, they put feelers. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of nice. Instead of just, I shaved my floorboards down so that you could basically slice cheese with it. But this will, it's got the little peg and stick, so to speak. If you don't know what that is, it's a metal feeler so that it starts dragging before the floorboard actually kind of lets you know where you're at. 33 degrees right lean angle, 32 degrees left. Now, that is 1 degree both sides more than your regular Road Glide or Street Glide for 2024. That's not a lot. So that was one of my predictions. And it is right now one of the things, and I said this in my video, that I think they could change. And I'm sure engineers are cringing at me, and it's okay because this is what I do. My prediction was everything that they did. But one of the big things when you're on tracks, guys, and you're leaning these, and I know these are baggers, and I know that Harley has to make things that are actually going to get purchased by a consumer. So take this with a grain of salt on what I want, because it could just be selfish, and it probably is I want this bike, but I want lean angle. Because it has all the makings of a good track bike, but can you? Yeah, but you're only gonna be able to go so fast. Lean angle is everything, and being able to lay that bike over, you can only do so much before you're going to drag it and get into the frame and frame out and slide. So I found that when I was down there, I had to really take it easy at first. I was dragging and kind of feeling where I was at and how far I could get this bike over. But it's amazing for a bagger. So don't get me wrong. I want to be careful here, guys. I'm not dogging it, but I was hoping that it would have mid controls, and by putting mid controls and higher, it would give you a lot more lean angle. You still got the frame to contend with there. They could make that a little bit higher, in my opinion, too. Like a couple more degrees of lean angle, bring the whole frame up, maybe some different wheels. I really feel like they kind of missed it there just a little bit. But here, with that said, the problem with what I just said is now it's going to be really hard to tour on this bike, because nobody wants to tour with mid control. So I get it, guys. I'm just selfish. In a perfect world, they would make this exact bike with higher and more lean angle, and then you could really legitimately use this thing on the track, amateur hour kind of deal. So, and I said too in my video, it'd be really cool if they came up with a system. This is a dream, but that you could have floorboards and everything on it for touring. But then on track day, it was easily modded where you could pop on mid controls. But then you got to move shifters. I get it, guys. I get that. And that's why I say engineers are probably cringing, but it's just the one thing to me that keeps it from being my full prediction of a true amateur track bike. The lean angle is going to hold you back on this thing. Anything? Is that fair? Or
I think that's fair. I mean, from a pure want perspective, we want that if they're going to make a king of the bagger bike, make the king of the bagger bike. Right. That's easy for us to say. And I think you just explained it pretty well, is that may not sell really well, and it may not be real comfortable. So, that's it's a give and take. It's a give and take. Yeah.
I'm not in their market. I know they do market research. So, but I'm not afraid to say stuff. And maybe there'll be a model in the future where they'll have the regular ST and then the ST Plus, limited amount where it will have mid controls and it's higher. Who knows? All we can do is say it and give constructive feedback and see where Harley goes with it. So, all right, we'll move into the engine here after Lurch does this.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative parts for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. 03D's got your back with chrome, black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. 03D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Goldstrike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@03d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check at your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Goldstrike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out 03D's custom line of Gold Strike products to the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of 03D products.
And I cannot wait to see what 03D comes up with for these new bikes and these new fairings and these new saddle bikes. They are working on stuff, guys. We love Zero, longtime sponsors. You can bet whatever they come out with, we will be carrying right in the Law Abiding Biker store. And even though it comes with LED lighting all the way around, 03D is going to nail it. It's just stock LED lighting. There's definitely going to be better stuff. You're going to have signals, directionals up front. You're going to have bat blades for the fairings, so you can see the whole fairing. You're going to have
bag blades, different tail lights.
Bag blades, tail lights with actual patterns, programmable patterns with their app, because it is just stock LED lighting. But I'm glad that it's LED all the way around out of the chute, but I'll definitely, if I got one, be sprucing that up with Zero stuff. And again, excited to see what they come out with. So let's move into the heart of this bike. So this is an interesting conversation. So this bike coming with the one Milwaukee 8, it's the same Milwaukee 8, guys, that we've seen for years. It's a 121 cubic inch high output, no VVT, no variable valve timing. I'll get to that in a minute. It's water cooled heads. Now, admittedly, when they first launched, I was a little bit critical that it didn't have VVT. Having spent time down there with engineers, I understand why that decision was made, and it makes perfect sense. I don't just buy everything they tell me. I take it, I chew on it. It makes sense to me. That was just initial reaction. So we'll get to that. 127 horsepower at 49. Note that at 4,900 RPM. That's plus 12 horsepower over the 121 VVT version in the regular CVO model. So plus 12 in horsepower. Also note 145 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. That's plus 6 foot-pounds of torque over the regular VVT version of the 121 in the regular 24 and 23 CVO models. It's got a larger intake. It's got a cam. It's got a special tune. It's got track mode plus. Those are tunes. If you wondered, or way that's not necessarily the EFI tune, but those are ways to manipulate engine braking and throttle responsiveness and all that. So if you want 115 horsepower on the regular CVOs and 139 foot-pounds of torque. So it's got more power. It's got more torque. And if you really think about it, why it wouldn't have VVT. Number one, it's got more horsepower and torque. So it's a faster, stronger as far as that goes. The engineers are able to tune it when you do that. You're able to much more tune a bike for high ultimate race, if that's what you will, race performance. VVT, on the other hand, is a smoother experience, but you can't peak it as much as you want, like a regular tune on a regular bike without VVT. So because of the internal VVT, let me tell you, it's a very smooth experience. It's not going to be as jarring as a performance bike. And with VVT, that's the whole point of it. So the regular CVO models get that. And so here's what I'll say with that. So I get why they have it. It's a performance Also, it leaves this, be happy with that, guys, because it leaves it open. Without the complications of internal VVT, you can now put a different cam in this. Maybe you don't like this particular cam. Easily done. I mean, within reason. Okay, some guys are like, oh, that's not easy. Okay, what I'm saying is it makes it easy for a technician or somebody who knows how to do it. VVT adds a whole plethora of issues, and if you even do a cam in VVT. So here's what I'll say. Out on the track, this motor is amazing. It will throw you back in your seat. It is got lots of torque, lots of horsepower. I'm sure it's as loud as it can be per federal regulations with what Harley is under scrutiny about. So I couldn't believe how good it sounded. Of course, we had them opened up at idle and things. They're not that impressive, but when you open them up, they actually sound pretty damn good. I would change it out immediately. And that's something you have to think about. You're getting a high performance, supposed to be race inspired CVO out of the gate, ready to go. You're going to change exhaust. So remember that, because we're going to get into whether you buy regular models or whether you buy this model. You're changing exhaust pipes at minimum to make it sound better. You know there's cats in there. You want to get rid of the cats. You want to open this thing up. So now you got headers and exhaust on top of a $45,000+ bike. So when everything's said and done, especially with taxes and whatever. So you're going to have to change that. But all in all, for a stock, it is technically, it's got a cam, but it's stock. It's coming OEM. Mm-hmm. I did never get what exact cam it was. I asked that question, but it wasn't super important. But they did change the intake. It's got more flow. I'm not going to get into all the geek stuff. They gave us everything. I don't want to go down that. It's bigger. It's better. Put it that way. All right. So what I will say, and red line on this bike is at 5,900 RPM. So did you hear all those RPMs, guys? And so that's what I'm talking about. So I had this on the track. Amazing. You'll love it. It'll put a smile on your face. You're going to be running this at a high RPM if you want to truly experience this motor with this cam. But it would be the same as putting a cam in like we did in Popeye's bike. Mm-hmm. You're going to be traveling at higher RPMs. You're going to be probably, if you really want the power of it, you're going to need to go down a gear because you need to get those RPMs up. That's where the power band is. And let me tell you, at above 5,000, holy shit, hang the fuck on, because the front wheel's coming up, and when you throttle blip it was so fun. And it sounds, and it's so smooth. With that said, even though it's high RPM, it's not a big deal. The feedback in the bars is perfectly appropriate for a motor like that with 4,900 RPM. It's not going to like vibrate your hands off. The way Harley has done that over the years, and they're really good at keeping feedback, because that's why we ride Harleys. A lot of guys get on, you should get a Honda Goldwing. There's nothing wrong with Honda Goldwing, and those that ride them, great, have fun. There's a reason that Harley riders pick Harley, because we still want feedback. We want it to feel like a motor. We want that V-twin. We want the vibrations. We want to feel when we shift. We just want those things. Again, no put down on Honda. They're great bikes. There's a bike for everybody. We support all bikes here. So I don't want people to get mad about that. I'm just comparing it because that would be the difference. So don't worry about all that. All I'm saying is that this bike is for a purpose. I know a lot of guys, could you still tour long distance on this? Sure. Absolutely. Guys do it all the time. Is that what you want to do? Well, that's going to be for you to decide based on the information that I'm feeding you. You would probably, so here's what you, and I'm not saving all this for the end. We're just kind of going as we go, because it's coming to my mind. So what you have to decide is the new Harleys, the Road Glide and the Street Glide, are coming with the 117 non-variable valve timing. We can talk about that later. They got to keep the CVOs different, guys. Will that come in the future? We're not sure. But VVT is great, but I'm kind of actually glad they didn't put them in.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Now that you've rode them both and have a little more information, we've said in previous podcasts that that's kind of a deal breaker. I want that VVT. Now that you've had experience with both motors, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, good question. Okay, so here's the deal. I love VVT. And it is cool that it's on the CVOs. It is amazing. It is such an amazing feel if you've never felt variable valve timing. I'm glad they're keeping it on the CVOs, the regular non-ST CVOs. We got to, okay.
I told you it's confusing.
It is. It's confusing. I agree. So the thing is they're keeping those bikes. CVO people, I am not a CVO person, guys. Never have been, probably never will be. The reason is I like to build my bike the way I like to build my bike. I don't want Harley doing it for me. Give me the base platform. I'll do what I want with it. I think there's way better aftermarket parts. They look better. They're not as expensive, and I can make the bike mine. When you get a CVO, everybody else has the same CVO. So with that said, that's what I like about them not putting VVT in the regular bikes, because what I previously said, with the complication of variable valve timing internally, it's not everything we want. What I just said, I want to build a bike. We put a cam in Popeye's bike. If I want to put a cam in my bike, I can put a cam in my 117, and I can get just as much horsepower and torque as this CVO ST. Okay.
It's just not going to be as smooth and as fuel efficient, right?
It might. Depends how you cam it and tune it.
But that, I mean, that's the idea of the variable valve timing, right? Is
you get one more mile a gallon.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. And it's a smoother.
Yeah.
If you're going to tour, that's so there's a couple things going on here. So let me finish answering that question.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what I am actually happy about is with the 117 is it's a blank platform. You can put on your Street Glide, if you wanted, or your Road Glide regular standard models, you could put even if you like Harley, and I do like, don't get me wrong, I like their parts, guys. It's just, I like to make my bike different, and I don't want all Harley parts on it. So, you can put the CVO ST package on it, the flat bars, the grips, you can make it look like an ST, but still have the 117. And then you could totally put a cam in it and tune it, and it'd be just as fast as the CVO ST. So, I like that it's a base platform and it allows me to do that. So I'm kind of glad that they just kept the 117, and you could just keep it at a 117. And so now I'll go back to what I was saying. When you're deciding this, guys, is if you're going to do a lot of touring, I already said it, so don't get mad. I said it in my video too, but a couple of guys still said, I did a cam. That's what I said. You can do it. Okay. People, you can do it. You can tour with a cam, a high performance cam.
Sure. Absolutely.
Go for it. What I'm saying is, for a guy like me who tours a lot and it's my main riding, I can carve corners. I'll keep up with 99% of riders on a regular Road Glide or Street Glide with that ST. It's about knowing how to ride. That 117, I'll keep up with you all day if we're doing corners, because I know how to corner really well. The extra power, okay, you want to drag race, you'll beat me. 121's got more, but that's not really, I don't drag race. So what I'm saying is the 117 Milwaukee 8 is a beautiful motor. It's so smooth. It runs at lower RPM. My 103 twin cam has plenty of power. We pass just like the guys on the Milwaukee 8s in our crew. So how much do you need here, people? And I get it. You want it. It's fun. And we all get, we want to buy new things and new shiny things. I get it. So
yeah,
go
absolutely.
for it. Go for it. But when we actually back off and put things in reality, which is what we're doing here on this podcast, not everybody has the same amount of money. Like, should you upgrade? I'm still rocking my twin cam 103. And dude, I ride a 114. Well, my new police bike is a 114. It's cool. It doesn't have that much more, but it does have more. But I've got mine, stage 1 on it, and it's a runner. So if for a guy like me who's going to long distance tour mostly, I still can carve corners. I mean, you're talking about 3 cubic inches, 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 cubic inches, guys. So, if you're going to strictly my main thing is long distance touring, then I have to say, you might want to consider, getting a regular standard model. And you always have the future if you all of a sudden are like, I need more. I need more power. Put more in it. It's totally doable. It's a 117. You put a cam in it. It'll be just the same as the ST model now, and it's yours, and you did it, and you chose what cam you wanted, and you chose what tune you wanted, and all the other things and opportunity that comes along with that. So you can tour on all these guys. And that's why I say, I go back to probably why my whole selfish idea of putting mid controls and higher things on it. They wanted to still keep it a touring bike, but yet be fast and, something you can, ride around with baby oil on and your shirt off and look like a badass going to events and hogs and dogs at Harley's, apparently, because you're going to see a lot of guys like that. Okay. So that's a consideration. If you are a short distance and, you just, all you do is day rides and you're like, I just go out for a couple hours and I have a cool road and I carve corners and blah, blah, blah. And I like drag racing and I like revving my motor and I like sitting on my bike and looking cool at hogs and dogs, then, this would be something to consider. Again, could you tour on it? Go for it. Go for it. What I'm trying to get at, you guys, is it just is probably going to be a smoother experience, a less fatiguing over time experience, because that is what the regular standard models are made for. They are touring bikes. They are made to travel across the US or across the world, wherever you're going. That's what they're made for. It's a smoother motor. It's lower RPMs. Yet when you do get in the power band for passing, the things that you actually need to do for touring, really what this 121 for is for drag racing. I mean, like I said, even on corners, I'll keep up with the 117. So it's stuff to chew on. It's stuff to chew on, and how much you care about looks. But again, if you just look, if you're looking at the CVO ST Road Glide and you're like, I just love the way it looks. Well, hold on. If it's just looks, then save yourself some money and go ahead and get a regular Road Glide ST or just a regular standard Road Glide and add the ST parts to it. It'll look exactly like the same bike. It just won't have the 121 because you can get the package, right? Lurch, you want to talk about that? Why don't you look up packages on while we're there on these bikes? You could add that and you're way less money. Even if you add your own cam, you're still way less money than what they're charging for this Road Glide ST.
Yeah, they've had all of these parts available, but this year they're making packages. So they have the Day Tripper package, which is essentially just
for the standard models.
The standard models. Yeah, I'll get to the ST.
Okay.
It basically has a docking hardware and a rider backrest. Then you can go up to the long haul accessory package, which is going to have passenger floorboards, a touring seat, the docking hardware. It also comes with the plate for a detachable trunk. You'd have to add that to it. But then they also have this ST package, accessory package. So you can buy your standard Road Glide or Street Glide and put the package on here. Let me pull it up. Oh, no, I'm opening the video. See if I can get the cost of this thing.
No problem while you're doing that. Yeah. So if you guys are wondering about fuel economy, interestingly, we already talked exhaust titanium mufflers to save weight, forged carbon fiber tips. We've got fuel economy. Interestingly, the 121 on this CVO ST, 44 miles a gallon, which is the same as the 140. The 121 VVT is one more. The standard Road Glide is 44 a gallon. 121 no VVT 44 a gallon. The 121 VVT 45. So you get 1 more mile a gallon with the CVO 121 with VVT.
The ST package is just short of $2,800.
Okay.
And it's going to come with a seat, pegs, and mini floorboards.
We're not going to do all the math on that
stuff. Intake, tuner. So again, you can buy all this stuff separate if you don't want all of it. But they started with packages. I think this year's the first time I've seen these types of packages. Yeah. Touring packages, and
you're going to have to go with their parts, their tuner. So again, it's everything I would do to this bike, but I would do it my own parts.
Yeah.
That's just me. So there's just so much out there. And then my bike's different than everybody else's because I did it. That's part of the fun to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why I've never been a huge CVO guy. But I know there's a lot of CVO guys. There's nothing wrong with that. No, some guys want ready to set it and forget it. I want to pay money. I want to drive out and I never want to touch my bike and I just want to ride. So that's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's something for everybody out there. So yes, you could add that package and then put a cam in it. You're still less money. And again, you got to do it exactly how you want to do it. So again, I'm not talking bad about it. It is a awesome bike. They're selling them so fast. People are waiting in line. Did I say that earlier?
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if I finished it. Dealerships. I think I didn't finish. Well,
okay.
Yeah, I think we got off track. I was talking to Matt Laidlaw on the bus. Yeah. I think I didn't finish that up. Sorry, guys. You're probably everyone's like, what the fuck? So he was saying that they're selling bikes yeah, guys, maybe I did, not even test riding them. Like, yeah, I did. These guys, these bikes are going to sell like crazy.
Like hotcakes.
Like, yeah, I did. We said the bejesus or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Though those are shirts, whatever. I'm all off track now. Okay. So let's move into suspension. So front suspension on this, again, we're referencing the regular standard models because it puts things in perspective, but this is specs for the CVO ST. SHOWA 147 millimeter inverted forks. Thank you, Harley, with adjustable preload, compression dampening, and rebound dampening. That's awesome. Well done, Harley. Rear suspension, emulsion suspension with adjustable preload, compression dampening, and rebound dampening. Fully adjustable SHOWA shocks with remote reservoirs on the rear, preload, compression, and rebound dampening. Confusion. A lot of people thought that was Öhlins. It is not. It is SHOWA, front and rear. They went with SHOWA on this bike. So I am very stoked. Well done, Harley. Awesome. That's one thing you get on this bike is the preload, compression, and rebound dampening, fully adjustable. However, it was one of my nitpicks is it's all manually adjustable. And I would really hope Harley would put electronically adjustable suspension because, although it's not that hard to do, it's still time consuming and, getting it all dialed in. And then if you run a passenger, then you got to change it again. While we're talking about passenger, this bike not coming with 2-up seat, no passenger pegs. A lot of guys were concerned about that. I can tell you that it has been added to the P&A catalog. They do now have a passenger 2-up seat for it. One of the things they ran into is the docking hardware gets blocked by the remote rear brake canisters. And so they had to design something to work around that. But that stuff is available because that would be a huge deal breaker for a lot of guys if it didn't offer 2-up because a lot of guys want to take or gals want to take their significant other as a passenger. And that is available now in the P&A catalog. So, all right, we're moving. Hopefully this is just a lot of information. And again, my point here is to be honest and unbiased and let you make a decision. It's just stuff to chew on is, I guess, what I'm saying.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Oh, that ass.
Get hooked up with the premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that'll leak if punctured.
Oh, my ass is leaking.
The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat. Fits all motorcycles and stalls in seconds. Easily cleans and helps dampen those damn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head on over to the Law Binding Biker store and check out our full lineup of butt buffer seat cushions.
You got me with the leaking ass last time, so I did it to you. How can you not laugh at that? Oh, my ass is leaking. It's just wrong, dude, in every way. All right, so moving on. So we've covered a lot of stuff. Wheels, gloss black, cast aluminum wheels, designed to minimize mass and unsprung weight for enhanced performance. Front and back 7-spoke. They are beautiful. In my video, you got to watch the video because I get a bunch of really beautiful B-roll shots of this bike. There's CVO ST in red accent on the black wheels written in there, and same on the motor around the heads. There's red. I mean, it is, again, when you see it, you want to immediately bend over and hand somebody the jar of Vaseline and say, just go, I need this thing in my life, dude, and start just throwing down cash. Front brakes, wave style, Brembo, radially mounted. That's awesome. If you guys don't know, we're not going to get into that, but radial mounted is always better performance instead of axial like on most bikes. And the standard models, still axial mounted. 32 millimeter 4-piston wave style front rotors, which help dissipate heat. Very much race inspired. It gives it that look. And rear, of course, is a single axial mounted 32 millimeter. Handlebars, new 6-inch handlebar risers. They definitely put the rider in a more upright position for an enhanced performance bagger style. Definitely gives it a moto feel. I will say I was stoked with the way that bike feels. And talking about the position and the rider triangle, the seat, the new seat, they nailed it. Will it be good long distance? I don't know. That probably not because it's stock. But what I'm saying is they curved it up in the back. It pushes you forward. And with the moto style bars, everything was so comfortable, but it puts you in a more aggressive riding position. What I say, a lot of you guys see our police bikes in our tractor seat. The reason we run that is it puts us, God, he's crop dusting, puts us centered up.
He got me earlier.
Centered up over the bike. And it pushes you forward. And that is an aggressive riding position. You have much better control of the bike. You can throw it around better. You can transition. It's where you want to be. And it felt the most for a stock bike that a police bike has ever felt to me. And so well done there. I have no complaints about that, but just well done on the pullback on those bars, everything. And they've got lots of adjustability on the Road Glide. The clamps right there, you can move them forward.
About time. I think it's 27
degrees.
Yeah.
Yep. Well said.
Time. I'm interested to see it being, 6'4" if I get on that thing, if I can rock them forward and just be happy with the stock bars.
Right.
Because that'll be a first for me.
I think you might.
It looks like it. It looks like it. Yeah.
So yeah, very good. And you had said there was something that you said with the position. God, it was a good point too, and I cannot think. Anyways, hopefully I'll remember it. But hand controls, obviously from that switchback collection, the front brake on all the models now is adjustable. It's got the little star wheel in there, so you can kind of figure out how far you're off. Of course, we're not going to get into the clutch cable thing. It is clutch cable. I've ranted about it enough over time. I wish it was hydraulic. That's a complaint. Go back to past episodes if you want to find out why, as a police trainer, motorcycle trainer, why we prefer. I ran both, but why I prefer the hydraulic. We talked about forged fiber. Yeah, seat, we're really nailing it. Colors on the CVO ST, golden white pearl, raven metallic. You can get a black trim only, which I didn't say was a complaint of mine, but I'll say it here. I'm a traditional chrome guy still. I think there's way too many black bikes out there now. It got overdone to me. So I do that black raven metallic chromed out would look phenomenal. So I do wish they have a chrome option, but they don't. It's only black. And there you go. So those are your two colors to consider. And like I say, guys, it's the all new digital dash system. We're going to do a totally separate episode. I've got 2 videos up on the channel. I'm hopefully going to be getting one of these bikes longer term. I'm going to dive more into that system. This is going to be your go-to place for everything Skyline OS, new digital system. We're working on it. We're going to bring you guys the information. Get over on YouTube and give those a watch. Apple CarPlay, learn about Android Auto, whether it has it, whether it's satellite radio. I mean, everything. I've already released those videos. So get over there. Come in with all your rider safety enhancements, all of them included. We're not going to go over the whole list, but everything we've seen with rider safety enhancement, ABS, linked braking, drag, slip, torque, all that vehicle hold control, blah, 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 cornering enhanced stuff, guys, all over there. So we're just going to run down the Road Glide Standard and Street Glide Standard. We've talked about them a lot. Yeah, there's just not, because we've said some of the specs, they're the same weight. Obviously, the Street Glide's lighter than a Road Glide because
front fairing is more involved with that.
You're right, because Street Glides are, honestly just a better bike.
If they were, they'd be using them in King of the Baggers.
Yeah, right. They did actually.
They did. They realized they weren't that good, so they went to the Road Glide.
There you go. So Road Sport Rain ride modes, one customizable mode on those standards. Same bars, 27 degrees adjustability. Suspension. It's okay.
How was the suspension? Because they did. We learned that they did change the suspension for the standard Road Glides and Street Glides. They've got a retuned front suspension, and in the back, instead of having single adjustable emulsion shocks, they have dual.
It was still just one side adjustable.
That's not what it said. Okay.
Yep. I actually pulled a bag off. I had Paul pull my bag off. I said, I want to know. And I asked that specific question. So it's the same. It's retuned. They retuned the front to feel better with the rear.
To match the rear, right?
Yes, it is.
Is it stiffer, less brake dive?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because it wasn't, we got to test these bikes one day.
Yeah.
And I was in a group, so I cannot tell you. Unfortunately, that's why I tell you guys I need more time with these bikes to properly test this stuff. I did the best I could with the time that was allotted me. And in the riding in a group, you're only going so fast. So anyways, I don't want to go down that road, but it felt fine. It felt stock. Okay. I didn't get to test it on super bumpy roads
so probably a little better than it has been in the past, but still not to the level of an aftermarket suspension.
No.
Like
I mean, the ST felt amazing.
Yeah.
But you've got fully
inverted forks.
You've got radial mounted. I mean, it brakes, everything felt better.
Sure.
So this is just stock. Okay. Would it be fine? I toured for years, even on my old 14. But yeah, I would definitely upgrade it. That's just me though. Mm-hmm. To my beloved Olings. I mean, if they put that kind of suspension on these bikes, guys, it would go through the roof. So it's really good for stock. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. It is adjustable, preload only. On the rear, it's the same. You have to remove the saddlebag. The little adjuster dial is on the left side behind the saddlebag. That is one complaint I have, is You'll see it when I get that review out. I really wish Harley would just make the knob a little bit longer, Harley, please. Put it a little bit forward, something so we don't have to remove a saddlebag to adjust our suspension. The reason is you ride, or you want to adjust a little bit, you have luggage, or you put a passenger, every time you have to adjust it, and you got to take a dang saddlebag off. It seems like it should just, anyways, that's just one of my complaints. I hope they fix that in the future.
Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at their website and it says this 3-inch dual outboard emulsion
That's
with
important.
preload adjustability. I just assumed that when they mentioned dual that it'd be adjustable on both sides, but still adjustable one side. Okay.
Yep. And you said 3-inch, which is super important. Number one, it's the size of your wiener. Number two,
around.
Still not that impressive. Anyways.
Across. I mean.
Across. Yeah, I was going to say that's not that impressive. So they did this year, which that's huge. I want to give them props for that. They went from 2 inches, their rear travel, to finally 3 inches. And so in the past, we always upgraded our suspension. And that's what all aftermarket companies did, is it was 3 inches. You get a whole extra inch of travel and it just felt better. But now coming stock, you get an extra inch of travel. So well done, Harley, there. I give them props there. But again, the suspension felt fine for the very kind of riding in a group we did through Valley of Fire National Park and Lake Mead. It was beautiful, by the way. And again, I'm so appreciative. Harley really nailed it. They set up a great ride, beautiful. But again, you can test the bikes within those parameters is all I can do. So, new seat, and this is the question you asked, Lurch, in the truck is seat. Yeah. We did ask a question. We got to have meetings with Harley reps and engineers. They always brief us on these bikes and all the new tech and stuff, which is really cool. And one of the questions asked was, are the old seats going to work? No. It sounds like they changed the seat pan, and they did a good job with these seats, even on the standard models. They really do put you in a better rider position. There's more back support. They had to change the seat pan a lot, and so the older seats aren't going to work on these bikes. So just be aware of that. You're going to be into a new seat if you're going to do long distance touring. And I'm just going to tell you, I haven't tested the seat long distance, but they're never going to give you a stock seat that is made for riding 10 days for 5,000 miles. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to buy something a little bit better, but it's great for stock. Well done there. So puts my hips forward more, kind of similar style to the CVO ST. That what I talked about with the CVO ST in that riding position. New wheels, they are cast aluminum exclusively on the Road Glide and Street Glide. They look great. Black machine cut 5-spoke. They're beautiful to look at. They're supposed to kind of look like they're moving when it's stopped and things like that. Your audio front speakers, your audio comes, with your front speakers. 100% more power increase from the Road Glide. So I believe it's a 200-watt system now, is what they said, if I'm thinking correct. Back. Okay. Suspension is new. Rear, 50% more travel. We talked about that. Front suspension has been specifically tuned to the rear suspension. Colors. My favorite is Whiskey Fire, guys. It's beautiful. I saw it in the sun. That's the color. We looked at that bike in the shade and then looked at it in the sun. You would think it was two completely different paint jobs. It comes alive in the sun. Holy shit. You got to see that thing. My second is the shark skin blue. I also got to ride in the review. I think I was riding the Atlas Silver, I think it's called. That's a pretty bike too. But that's the one. I wasn't able to get the Whiskey Fire. They told us to be out there and pick your bike, but like me, I'm trying to get film gear ready. I'm tired. I was like, what bike I get. I don't care about the color. So I got out there a little late and only got that bike. But I did get to test half the day a Road Glide and half the day a Street Glide that second day. We rode Lake Mead, Valley of Fire National Park. Awesome pics. You're going to see beautiful things in the video. While I'm test riding those two bikes, they're essentially the same bike. Minus one is the shark nose and the other is the bat wing. Other than that, they're exactly the same. So I'll be able to relate that to you in the video. Both bikes rode great. The 117 is it's so smooth. You get on that bike and you're like, when you get on that bike, like that's when it hits you like, okay, I could settle into this seat and I'm gone for 10 days. Like this thing is so butter smooth. And it has plenty of power. When I got it in the power band, again, guys, I mean, it damn near lifts the front wheel off too. You clutch it a little bit, you can wheelie it. I mean, these bikes, it's a touring bike with a 117. I mean, a standard touring bike with a 117, guys. It is so butter smooth. That Milwaukee 8, they've worked a lot of the issues out, what we've seen in the past with some oil sumping and oil transfer and all that. It's an amazing motor. You're going to be happy. And again, if you're a cam guy and you want to, go cam it, and you might even pass one of the STs if you drag race it, depending on how you tune it and what cam you put in. So, and if you like the ST, put the ST parts on it. But there's a lot of colors to choose from, a lot of different options as far as that goes. What I don't want to happen, guys, is I get, and I'm not trying not to sell. The STs are going to sell themselves. They already are. I told you that. Matt Laidlaw's got people in line. So they're going to sell themselves. I feel like it's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, and I don't want it. My fear is that model is going to cannibalize the Road Glide and Street Glide standards. And so hopefully that's what we're helping with here. And I'm not doing, Harley didn't tell, that's not, I'm doing it because I want guys to settle down. I want the 20, it's hype. It's like when the new iPhone comes out. I just want to go get every new iPhone, right? So you got to look at, like, settle down, take a breath, step back. I've had guys texting me. I get it. It's that impulse buy.
Sure.
We want things.
That hit of, adrenaline buying that new thing.
Serotonin.
Yeah. Sure. Serotonin. Yep.
But so what we're here for is I want to arm you with the information. I want you to take a breath. I want you to settle down and go, over the past 2 years, what kind of riding have I done? What's my main type of riding? And I want you to think about, do I like to put my own parts, or do I just want a really cool bike and I want to just stare at it and not work on it and not put any parts on it? Do I want to tour with a high performance cam, or do I want to tour with a more smoother, mellow 117? Do I want the possibility to upgrade my cam in the future? Do I want VVT or not? Well, then you're going CVO. So all these things, you really need to I would look at the last 2 years. And for me, although I think the ST's cool, if I do buy one of these and I haven't made my decision yet, I might wait till next year. I might buy one of these here in the spring. We'll see. But for me, if I do have the money and I feel like it's financially